Hi guys! Welcome sa ASIP9. In this video ay tutuloy natin yung series natin on radicals. Sa video na to, tutuloy natin yung work examples natin on rationalizing the denominator of radical expressions. So for example, dito sa una, 11 divided by square root of 6 na pag-aralan natin na pag square root of n yung denominator, imumultiply lang natin sa sarili niya para maging n because square root of n times square root of n is equal to n. So in this case, dapat i-multiply lang natin yung denominator ng square root of 6. And whatever we put in the denominator, we also put in the numerator. So square root of 6 times square root of 6 is 6. And yung numerator natin na 11, square root of 6. Question. Bakit kailangan natin i-multiply yung square root of 6 sa sarili niya? Or in general, square root of n. Kasi kung maalala nyo yung isang property ng radicals na square root of a times square root of b is equal to square root of ab. Diba? Ibig sabihin, kung may dalawa kang numbers, parehong may square root, pag minultiply mo yung dalawang radical expressions na yan, imumultiply mo yung sa loob nila. No? Halimbawa, square root of 8 times square root of 10 is equal to square root of 80. So, minultiply natin yung 8 and 10 para siya naging 80. Now, in the case of square root of 6, so square root of 6 times square root of 6 is actually square root of 36. So multiply din natin yung 6. And 36 is a perfect square na ang square root ay 6. So the goal of this is to actually create a perfect square. Question. Paano naman pag cube root katulad ng number 2? So pag cube root, the goal is to create a perfect cube. And kung meron kang 2, paano ka magkakaroon ng perfect cube? Ano ang imumultiply mo sa kanya? Para siya maging pinakamaliit na perfect cube, which is 2 cubed. May kulang pa tayo na dalawa. Bali 2 times 2 pa or 2 squared. So 2 times 2 squared is equal to 2 cubed. Meaning, yung 5 divided by cube root of 2, imumultiply natin yung denominator para yung product maging perfect cube, yung radicand. Yung radicand is yung number inside the radical sign. No? So yung product dapat maging perfect cube. Which means na imumultiply natin sa cube root of 2 squared para maging cube root of 2 cubed siya. Kasi pag naging cube root of 2 cubed siya, ang cube root nun ay 2. And whatever we multiply by the denominator, we also multiply by the numerator. So this is cube root of 2 squared. Now this is equal to 5 cube root of 2 squared. Ang 2 squared is 4, di ba? Hindi na natin kailangan naka-exponent siya kasi hindi na naman natin siya masisimplify. At yung denominator ay cube root of, ano ang 2 times 2 squared? 2 cubed. No? Now again, baka kalain nyo saan galing yung 2 squared. Ito yan, no? Yun nandito. Ayun ang nilagay natin na 2 squared. So this is equal to 5 cube root of 4 divided by, ano ang cube root ng 2 cubed? Perfect cube na siya, so magiging 2. The cube root of 2 cubed is equal to 2. Alright, so for the third number, we have 16 fourth root of 5 divided by fourth root of 2. So anong kailangan natin? Kasi fourth root siya. Ang kailangan natin ay perfect fourth power, no? Kailangan nating alisin yung fourth root sa denominator. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan natin ng 2 to the fourth. At ang meron lang ay 2. So, ano ang imumultiply natin para ang product ay 2 to the fourth? This is 2 cubed. No? Meaning, 16 times fourth root of 5 divided by fourth root of 2. Ano yung mamultiply natin? Ito yung fourth root of 2 cubed. No? So, ito yan. And of course, ganun din i-multiply natin sa taas. Fourth root of 2 cubed. So, this is equal to 16 fourth root of, multiply natin yung radicands, di ba? So, 5 times 2 cubed divided by magiging fourth root of 2 to the fourth. Ano ang fourth root of 2 to the fourth? That's 2, di ba? Tapos 16, fourth root of, ano ang 5 times 2 cubed? 2 cubed is 8 times 5, 40. And pwede tayo mag-cancel. So, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So, this is equal to 8 fourth root of 40 divided by 1, or just simply 8 fourth root of 40. Ito na yung pinakasagot natin. What about 7 divided by cube root of 12? Now, we need to look for the smallest perfect cube na ang factor ay 12. Medyo mahirap siya, no? Pero may strategy na para madali makuha. Pwede nating i-factor yung 12. So, 12 is equal to 4 times 3, which is equal to 2 times 2 times 3. And dapat i-express natin siya in exponential form. So, this is equal to 2 squared times 3. Paano tayo makakahanap ng perfect cube na meron lang tayong 2 squared times 3? So, pwede natin tignan yung 2 squared, paano siya magiging 2 cubed. Yan yung pinakamaliit na perfect cube, di ba? So, times 2. Di ba? What about yung 3? Ano i-multiply natin sa 3 para magiging perfect cube siya? So, this is equal to 3 cubed. 3 squared. No? So, pwede natin express yung given as 7 divided by cube root of, ang 12 ay 2 squared times 3. So, 2 squared times 3. Pero, kailangan nating i-multiply sa cube root of 2 times 3 squared para maging perfect cube. So, cube root of 2 times 3 squared. Ganon din dito sa numerator. 2 times 3 squared. So, yung ating numerator ay 7 cube root of, ano ang 2 times 3 squared? 2 times 9. That's 18. Yung ating denominator ay cube root of 2 cubed is 3 cubed. And both of them are perfect cube, no? So, meaning this is equal to 7 cube root of 18. Hindi na natin ma-simplify yung cube root of 18, no? Kasi wala naman factor na perfect cube. Divided by, ano ang cube root ng 2 cubed? That is 2, di ba? Ano ang cube root ng 3 cubed? That is equal to 3. So, this is equal to 7 cube root of 18. Divided by, ano ang 2 times 3? 6. Ito na yung pinakasagot natin. Question, bakit ko kinuha yung cube root ng 2 cubed tsaka 3 cubed? Of course, you have to recall the property that cube root of A, B is equal to cube root of A times cube root of B. Pag meron kang product, pwede mo paghiwalayan yung factors. No? Kapareho din yan sa taas. Baliktad nga lang. Yung sa taas, magkahiwalay, mga factors, minultiply. Yung dito naman, pabalik. Product siya. Kinuha yung 2 factors, tapos minultiply. Of course, both factors are inside the radical sign. Lastly, we have cube root of 6 times cube root of 2x squared. Medyo kakaiba ito kasi may variable siya, no? But it's almost the same, no? So this is cube root, kaya kailangan natin ng perfect cube sa radicand sa denominator. Meron tayong 2 times something para siya magiging 2 cubed. So, kailangan natin ng 2 squared. Meron tayong x squared, pero kailangan natin siya magiging perfect cube din. Kailangan natin ng x para siya magiging x cubed. So, meaning, ito yung magiging laman no? Isang radical expression natin. So, cube root of 6 divided by cube root of 2x squared times cube root of 2 squared x. Ito yan, no? 2 squared x. So, this is also cube root of 2 squared x. And this is equal to the cube root of 6 times 2 squared x divided by cube root of 2 cubed x cubed. So, yung 2 times 2 squared is 2 cubed. Yung x squared times x is x cubed. So, this is equal to, ano ang 6 tsaka 2 squared. That's 24, di ba? 24x cube root of 24x divided by ano ang cube root ng 2 cubed x cubed? Ang cube root ng 2 cubed ay 2 at ang cube root ng x cubed ay x. So, ayan na ba yung final answer natin? Pwede pa ba natin siya i-simplify? Pwede, no? Kasi yung 24 may factor yan na perfect cube. Ayun ay 8 or 2 cubed, no? 8 times 3x divided by 2x. And yung 8 is a perfect cube. Pwede mo siyang i-express as 2 cubed times 3x. Tapos i-cube root natin siya. Divided by 2x. And ang cube root ng 2 cubed or 8 ay 2. So, labas natin siya. And yung matitira sa loob ay 3x. And divided by 2x. Naintindihan nyo ba? Yung 2 cubed, yung cube root ng 2 cubed ay 2. So, from here, parang pinag-iwalay natin siya. That's cube root of 2 cubed times cube root of 3x. And the cube root of 2 cubed is 2. So, 2 cube root of 3x divided by 2x. And pwede pa rin tayo mag-simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So, kinancel natin yung 2. Ang natira ay cube root of 3x divided by x. Ito na yung pinaka-final answer natin. Okay, so maraming salamat. Sana nag-enjoy kayo dito sa ating tutorial. Huwag niyo kalimutan mag-subscribe sa ating channel. Bring your friends, like our videos. I'll see you in the next tutorial.